let's just go ahead and jump into the mass exodus of resellers on eBay, specifically prominent YouTube resellers. I wish everybody the best. I don't want to see anybody fail in life ever. As their competition on eBay, I'm not that sad to see them go. Nothing in life ever comes easy by not putting the effort in. You want the best rewards in life? Put the effort in. Even if you don't know what you're doing, putting the effort in means I'm going to try, I'm going to fail, I'm going to learn from my failures, correct course, and then we'll go forward. Welcome back, everybody. What a great day to make a video. Right now, I'm looking out the window. We got a nice little cozy snowstorm going on. However, it is above 32 degrees and it's 34. And for the first time in months, I am making a video wearing shorts, which is real nice and comfortable. I know many of you are saying 32 degrees and you're wearing shorts. When you come where I'm from, this is like a heat wave this time of year, and it feels so good. It's like having the air conditioning turned on in the middle of summer. That's how comfortable this feels right now. So, a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Coming out of my finals, so my mind is like all scrambled because of that. We had a really good week of sales. So I'm starting to learn that the business is building where my average numbers are now not my average numbers. They're bumped up a little bit, which is really nice and really awesome that my store is seeing continuous growth month over month, which I'm extremely happy about. Obviously, we didn't have a wild week like we did last week because of the one sale of that jacket, which did go through international shipping, did make it to Chicago, and eBay already sent it out overseas. So I am, for the most part, in the clear on that right now, and that's pretty exciting. The international shipping program has been really taken off for me, and I don't know why or what I did to please the eBay algorithms to show my products in more overseas listings. But this week I had 4 more international shippings go out, and I'm really excited about that. And this morning, I've had 1 sale already this morning, and the first sale was international shipping. So that's really cool. I'm happy about that. And I'm curious to know, are you guys seeing an uptake in international shipping? Like, is this a push? Or is this something like my account must have hit some algorithmic milestone where it just started pushing it out more? Curious to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. But we still had great sales this week nonetheless. I'm really excited to share. Also, I've had a few people, enough to where I think I need to talk about it. The growing trend, I guess, in eBay YouTube of creators that are quitting eBay and moving on to other ventures. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the weekly numbers and top 10. This week, we had a 835 gross sales week, which ended up being exactly $400 in net sales. I could not do that again if I tried. One thing I do want to talk about when you're watching eBay content creators here on YouTube or any platform, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, or that, the only thing I'll say is be cautious of people who only show you the gross number and don't show you the net number, because that could be something that's very misleading. I think, like, if I was doing this for content creation and for stuff to go viral, A, I would never show you anything in Flipwise, and B, I think I could do it by selling stuff for no money and just jacking up my gross sales number. So one thing I want to say before we even have the conversation about content creation and eBay selling combined, anytime you watch somebody, like I always say with everybody, whenever you're watching somebody on reselling, take the good and leave the bad. And one thing to be cautious about is creators who only show you the gross number. When they're only showing you the gross number, there's a reason they're only showing you that number and not showing you the net number. That's all I'm saying. There's a reason behind it. The net is what matters. This is the number that actually means anything in reselling, because this is the money that you put in your pocket after all expenses are paid. Average gross per sale this week was $23.87. Average net per sale this week was $11.43. My net profit margin for the week was 48%. little bit lower than normal, under that 50%, but still not bad. Average net profit per sale is 46%. And the reason that number is that way is because you'll notice on the 17th, we had a very mismatched day of $191.07 for a gross and a net of $71.97. And the reason of this is because when I was a young reseller and I didn't understand retail arbitrage and I didn't understand reselling as a whole, I picked up a blender from Walmart that was on sale from $35 and it was marked down to $20. And I thought, ka-ching, this will be a quick 15 bucks. And it wasn't. And I bought it for 20 and it ended up selling this week for like $24. So that really mismatched, and a blender is not the cheapest thing to ship. So it brings my numbers out of whack, but that's the honest numbers behind it. And that's the reason we're under the 50% net profit margin. I am now making way better choices when it comes to retail arbitrage, and I'm a lot more picky with inventory. Top 10 sources by net return this week. We got two Goodwills duking it out. Two of my local Goodwills duking it out for the #1 spot. And then holding up third and fourth are eBay remotes and sunglasses. And I know a lot of people tell me that remotes and sunglasses are a waste of time as they're only $10 profit per sales. But my goal was to build it up big enough to where those sales come in consecutively. And if you'll notice, every single week, remotes and sunglasses are always in the top 5 net sellers, which when everything else is gone and nothing else is selling, I always am doing that. And the profit margin on remotes and sunglasses is fantastic. It's always above 60% per sale. And I absolutely will take that money every day coming in the week because I'm building my business on consistency and steady, slow growth. I'm not trying to be a millionaire tomorrow. This week, I was able to get out source. It shows that I spent $2.68 on new inventory. That's just what I've listed so far. However, I did have a really big sourcing day this week where I did get a lot of great inventory. As you can see right here, I got 3 pair of Coach boots for dirt cheap in one of the really small town mom and pop thrift stores. The local shoe store donated a bunch of Coach shoes to them the day I came in. Right now I'm looking out the window. We got a nice little cozy snowstorm going on. However, it is above 32 degrees and it's 34. And for the first time in months, I am making a video wearing shorts, which is real nice and comfortable. I know many of you are saying 32 degrees and you're wearing shorts. When you come where I'm from, this is like a heat wave this time of year, and it feels so good. It's like having the air conditioning turned on in the middle of summer. That's how comfortable this feels. So for this sourcing trip, I spent a lot of time sourcing books, and that's going to be a new category I get into because books are easy to source where I am, and they're always dirt cheap, like $1 or under for any book. And I was able to pick out a few books that had really great sell-through rates for like $30+ more per book. So I'm really excited to get into that, see how quickly it goes through. One thing I'm noticing is when I'm looking at pricing of books, it's pretty close competition between Media Mail and Ground Advantage. There are some scenarios where to ship a book Ground Advantage is cheaper than doing it Media Mail, which I thought was highly interesting. Cost of goods sold this week was $106. I spent $120 on marketplace fees and $209 on shipping labels. This week, I continued to meet my goal of 12 listings a day, which total 84 new listings for the week. And I had 36 sales this week. So my average was sitting around 20 sales. And then I think we're to the point where we've been hovering around that 40 number now for over 2 months. And I have to call that probably above 30 is my average number. So I'm going to call this a new average week for me. And it's awesome because I like having over 30 sales because over 30 sales is really where, like, for me, it's like a big windfall. For me personally and how I live my life, how my life is budgeted, and the way everything breaks down, 30 sales is awesome for me. And I like that I'm consistently hitting above that. I do want to see that grow in time, though. But right now, I'm extremely happy with it. Average time to list something in my store this week was 29 days. Average time to sell something in my store this week was 3 months. I had a 376% return on investment, which was an average return on investment per sale of 551%. Jumping into the top 10, number 10 is this Remington Wet to Straight S-8000T 2-inch ceramic hair straightener. We talked about selling hair straighteners last week on the show, and then I had another one sell today. Coming in at my number 10, I picked this one up for $2.89 at a Wisconsin Goodwill. It's sold on eBay for $25.88. That was $17.23 for the hair straightener and $8.65 for the shipping. The actual cost to ship this item was $6.28, which provided me a net return of $13.10, which was a 453% return on investment and a 51% net profit margin. Number 9 sale of the week is this Superman's men's large quarter zip fleece pullover. I picked this up for $3.80 at a Goodwill in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's sold on eBay for $32.40. That was $18 for the jacket, $14.40 for the shipping. The actual cost to ship this item was $9.31. That provided me a net return of $13.89, which was a 366% return on investment and a 43% net profit margin. And the number 8 sale of the week is this new with tags Wrangler men's large Rancher pearl snap button-up shirt, green plaid. As you guys know, I love selling Wrangler pearl snap shirts. I like selling any Western pearl snap shirt. I picked this one up for $2.80. It's sold on eBay for $26.20. That was $20 even for the shirt, $6.20 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.52. That provided me a net return of $15.33, which was a 548% return on investment and a 59% net profit margin. Number 7 sale of the week is this cool alloy quarter zip men's XL heather cloud gray pullover. Picked this up for $2.79 from a Goodwill. It's sold on eBay for $27 even. That was $20 even for the pullover, $7 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $5.21. That provided me a net return of $15.51, which was a 556% return on investment and a 57% net profit margin. And the number 6 sale of the week is this vintage number 12 Dwight Howard Orlando Magic men's medium Adidas jersey. I picked this up for $2.74 from a Goodwill. It sold on eBay for $28.68. That was $22.48 for the jersey, $6.20 for the shipping. The actual cost to ship this item was $4.52. That provided me a net return of $17.48, which was a 638% return on investment and a 61% net profit margin. Number 5 sale of the week are these U.S. Army men's XL hot weather woodland camo combat trousers. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that anytime you find official military uniforms in thrift stores, as long as they're in good shape and a reasonable price, pick them up. They are bolos. I picked these up for $2.68 from a St. Vincent de Paul's. They sold on eBay for $37.30. That's $25 for the trousers, $12.30 for the shipping. These sold in literal hours. It says 1 day on the screen, but it was maybe 4 hours the time it took these to sell. Actual cost to ship this item was $7.36. That provided me a net return of $22.12, which was an 825% return on investment and a 59% net profit margin. Number 3 sale of the week is this OEM Durabrand HT 395 home theater remote control. I picked this remote up for $1.32 on eBay. It's sold on eBay for $33.68. That's $27.98 for the remote and $5.70 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.25. That provided me a net return of $23.54, which was a 1,783% return on investment and a 70% net profit margin. And last week, I was rushing through the show, and one thing I forgot to mention to you guys last week, which is important to the overall story of my store, last Thursday, so not this Thursday that just passed, but the Thursday prior, remotes have officially paid for themselves. I am now in the pure profit on remotes, and right now, I think I'm sitting on 600 remote controls for sale. I have sold over 200 remotes, and they have absolutely 110% have paid for themselves completely. Every remote I sell from this point on is straight profit into my pocket, which is an absolutely fantastic feeling. Sunglasses have been there for a couple months now. Sunglasses have almost doubled their investment. And they're slowly, right now, sunglasses are sitting in my number 2 net profit slot. And that number 1 is home items. So they just surpassed donated, but they're on track to be my number 1 profit maker here soon. And hopefully 2 months from now, I get to report back to you and tell you that remote controls have taken over the number 2 slot when sunglasses are in first place. That would be really cool. That would show that my idea for business is actually working out and playing through. As of right now, it is. And another thing I like about sunglasses and remotes is they're season proof. Like, it doesn't matter what time of year it is. People will always buy sunglasses, and people with vintage electronics will always need to buy replacement remotes. That's one thing I like about those 2 categories. Number 3 sale of the week is this vintage Sony TT2000 portable tuner timer unit. And as you can see, it says read, tested, and powers on. See video. I picked this up for $3.68 from a Goodwill. I had no way of testing this. It powered on. All the buttons work, the functionality works, but I didn't have the cables to like plug it into a TV because it's like old school cables that my TV doesn't have plugins for. I disclosed all that in the listing, showed a video of all the buttons working, every button reacting with the LED screen. And this sold on eBay for $41.24, which was $26.24 for the tuner, $15 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $8.93. That provided me a net return of $24.76, which was a 673% return on investment and a 60% net profit margin. And the number 2 sale of the week is this San Jamar Oceans paper towel dispenser, 1.5 inch core rolls with lever. I picked this paper towel dispenser up at a Goodwill for $2.59. This is actually the second paper towel dispenser I've sold. Anytime I see these in a Goodwill, as long as they're under $6, I'm gonna pick them up. Everyone I found this far has had a really good sell-through rate, and I'm now sold out of them. So if you ever see a brand new paper towel dispenser in box, I strongly recommend picking it up. This one sold on eBay for $54 even. That was $29 for the paper towel roll dispenser and $25 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $17.92. That provided me a net return of $26.49, which was a 1,023% return on investment and a 49% net profit margin. And the number 1 sale of the week is this Nino Cerruti men's 40L Peacoat 100% wool black double-breasted. I picked this jacket up at a Goodwill for $2.74. It sold on eBay for $58.98. That was $43.98 for the jacket and $15 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this jacket was $11.49. That provided me a net return of $35.77, which was a 1,305% return on investment and a 61% net profit margin. I have done fantastic in coats and jackets this winter. Next year, that will be a big part of my store going into winter. I'm going to ramp it up as summer comes to an end, and summertime will obviously be the best time to source jackets. So I just want to slowly build up my inventory going into next winter, and I really enjoyed selling jackets this year. Very profitable venture for me, and yeah, I look forward to doing it again next winter. That concludes our top 10 sales of the week, and let's just go ahead and jump into the mass exodus of resellers on eBay, specifically prominent YouTube resellers. Honestly, I really like, people have been asking me my opinion on it, and I don't know why my opinion is important. I've literally been reselling less than a year. However, with that said, I probably imagine there are a few reasons people want to leave eBay. I think one reason is fees. I don't think they're a problem, but I know a lot of people do have a problem with it and feel eBay takes too big of a cut. And if that's how you feel and your business can't subside eBay's fees, I understand if you're not profitable getting out of it. I think another reason people want to leave eBay is because they're just seeing their numbers decline. And why are their numbers declining? I don't know. What I can tell you is I can only go off what I see in public from a lot of the people who are leaving. And I fear that a lot of people who are leaving, it's self-inflicted why their business wasn't doing good on eBay. And listen, I'm not down talking anybody else's business. Everybody needs to run their business as they see fit. Do not ever run your personal business based off of what a YouTuber tells you, up to and including myself. This might come as a shock to all of you, but I am not perfect. I do make mistakes, but you have to learn from those mistakes, correct those mistakes, and move on. And I think business in general, I'm old enough to remember of time prior to the internet, and business back then was a handshake deal, good customer service, a quality product with a great price. And it seems as a society, we go towards cheaper products that break easy. Customer service is getting thrown to the wayside. But to be a good business owner, I mean, it has not changed. It is offer a good product at a fair price and provide good customer service. And I think the online reselling space, I think a lot of people get into it thinking of it as a passive income that you don't have to put a lot of effort into and you make money while you sleep. And that's just not true. If you don't take your business seriously, your business is not going to give you returns. I take this very seriously. I try to provide the best customer service I can. I would say 9 out of 10 messages that I get on eBay about a product don't have to wait more than 3 minutes to get a response. If I'm in the middle of something and it takes me an hour or two to get to that message, but I provide quick response in that aspect. I'm always willing to make a deal. My prices are not set in stone. The one thing I had to teach myself young in the eBay reselling is don't get married to a price. And I price all of my items on the higher end of market value, specifically so I can run my weekend tiered sales and bring it down to a normalization, and B, I factor in haggling into my pricing. I know a lot of people don't like to haggle, but I know that a lot of people do like to haggle. And if you have been selling on eBay for longer than a month, I guarantee you've gotten your offer box filled up with people asking you to take a lower number. Even if you have best offers turned off, they can still message you and they can say, hey, would you be willing to take this for it? People like to haggle. Build haggling into your prices. And if you are uncomfortable haggling with customers, that might be something that you want to try to improve about yourself and your business, because you might be missing a lot of sales. One thing about me is, like, if somebody comes in and lowball offers me, I don't block them or ignore them. I counter them back with a true reasonable offer, which is way above their offer. And I literally leave a message like, hey, this is the number I'm willing to go to. If you would like it for that, it's yours. If not, no hard feelings. Hope you're having a great week. And I'd be willing to bet I probably convert about 30% of those sales. I would say 3 out of 10 end up taking that offer who initially sent me out a lowball offer, and I countered them with something reasonable. I'll have other customers who will then counter me with a reasonable offer to that my counter instead of the initial lowball they started on. So there's just a lot of nuances like that you're going to learn as you get into it and you actually start doing it. But you shouldn't close your mind off to it or close your business off to it, because the objective we're all trying to do here is make the sale and get the money to come in. And I know that a lot of people, and I did it. I got married to my prices when I first started off. Like, this antenna for a 2004 Mitsubishi is going to bring me $35, and I'm not taking anything less than $35. Well, 9 months later, you tend to change your tune, and when somebody comes in with a $20 offer for it, you're like, man, I'd rather have that $20 bill than have this 2001 Mitsubishi antenna sitting on my shelf. So that's just something to keep in mind. But everybody who is leaving, like, I have no bad blood. I wish everybody the best. I don't want to see anybody fail in life ever. As their competition on eBay, I'm not that sad to see them go. That means I have one less person that I'm competing with against prices. And I'm sure a lot of people who are leaving in the Exodus don't even sell in the same categories I do, and some do. So, I mean, sad to see him go. I'd like to see the platform grow. I'd like there to be more sellers and more buyers because I'm a firm believer in a rising tide lifts all ships. So, one of the reasons I do this YouTube channel is I want to help people who are thinking about getting into reselling, who may be on the fence or have maybe thought about doing it, and try to help them push them the next step to where they just take the leap and do it. Because I remember the anxiety I had when I lost my job and I was looking for something to do. And the one thing I knew I didn't want to do was punch another time clock and work for somebody else. Now, granted, I've been fortunate to where I set myself up for success in the beginning to where I financially could make some mistakes while I learned and while I went on, but you have to live within your means and you have to be realistic with your expectations. I think eBay is a phenomenal side hustle for anybody with a full-time job. It's something you could do very easily on a part-time status. And if you want to go full-time, as long as you dedicate and take the business seriously, you'll eke out a living. And you can actually turn it into a giant success and become a millionaire if that's what you want. But you got to put the effort in to get to that point. Nothing in life ever comes easy by not putting the effort in. You want the best rewards in life? Put the effort in. Even if you don't know what you're doing, putting the effort in means I'm going to try, I'm going to fail, I'm going to learn from my failures, correct course, and then we'll go forward next. If you keep that mindset, you will watch growth happen throughout your business. I can literally show you my growth since May of last year. Here you go. Total gross since I started selling on eBay is $22,984, which is a net of $11,517. But look at this graph right here because I feel this is the most important one. Look where I started, my first month. Slow growth, hit a dip, went down out on the third month. Made some corrections, changed it, slipped a little bit here. And then ever since November, we have been on a steady climb upwards to the point where February is literally less than $10 away from being my best month of sales ever. And we still have 7 days left, or no, less, because there's only 28 days in February. A couple more sales this week. February is going to be my best month. Month over month, is it a big grain of month over month? No. But my first month was $697 in net sales, and I'm currently sitting at $1,520 in net sales on the 23rd of February. Slow growth. Take the time to make the mistakes and slowly build your store. Once you do that and you make sure it's sustainable and it's something that you can do, you can manage and organize your time to make it profitable, you're going to be fine. That's all I got for that side of the house. I hope I didn't offend anybody or upset the apple cart. I'm sure you guys will let me know in comments or emails if I had. For school, this week was finals. Finals are always the hair pull week, and I ain't got much to pull. But it's good. I feel very confident that I did really well on both the finals. I had to create a flyer for a coffee shop for one, and then the other class I had to create 3 Subway advertisement signs, so I thought they looked cool. But we'll find out how I did on those. And yeah, I'm excited that the weather's starting to change. I will say that as things start to warm up and the snow goes away, I really do want to come up with some new content ideas, and I really want to start putting up more videos than just the Sunday show. It's been so hard to do in the winter. I mean, with the winter blues, whenever you finally get some downtime doing this, it's just, I want to just chill. But this summer, I would like to start ramping it up and start doing more content. I've got some ideas for content. The problem with me is I get these grand ideas, I film it, and then when I get in the editing bay, it's like, oh man, I don't find this entertaining. And when I don't find something entertaining, I don't want to put it out for consumption. And I know a lot of people are like, no, just put it out. But I don't want to put it out and hinder the progress of the channel. And now I'm starting to understand why other people have multiple channels, like one for sales channel, one for their picking channel, one for, sourcing and all that. It's just, I'm starting to understand it now that I'm behind the scenes looking at the numbers. I got one thing I want to talk about. eBay finally switched over the pre-owned clothing section, where you now have the 3 options of pre-owned clothing. Sort of. I'm noticing that it's only certain types of clothing that have these options, which is really weird because I'm trying to go back and get everything caught up and have it categorized correctly. But like one thing I've noticed is any athletic clothing, sports clothing, that doesn't have the 3-tier options. It's still just pre-owned. I really the only place I've noticed it is men's shirts. Like the category of men's shirts, that's where I've seen it, and women's shirts as well. I just don't sell that many women's shirts, but I did notice it there. But like specialty clothing items, I don't see the tiered, you know, excellent, good, fair. And I just thought it's really interesting that they wouldn't just make all clothing categories add these options in. It makes it harder to go back and reclassify all your current existing clothes that are in those categories. But yeah, I was surprised when that came out with no notice, really. It was just like one day I went to start listing and it's like, oh, now I have the options to do excellent, good, fair on these shirts. But yeah, that's all I got for this week. I thank you guys so much for joining. If you're new here, and you enjoyed the content, a subscribe would be greatly appreciated. If you like the content, hit the like button because it helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. And part of my money coming in comes from this YouTube channel and you guys watching, which I super appreciate. And yeah, I think that's all I got for this week. I'll be back with you next week for the first episode of the month, where we'll go over the YouTube numbers as well. So we got that to look forward to. And without any further ado, I think I'm done. I hope everybody had a great week. I truly hope everybody has a good week to come. And remember, no matter what happens, I will see you guys next Sunday. Have a great week, everyone.